Good afternoon, everybody. It is 11:33 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day here. This is for quite a large area here in central Indiana. Get right to it here. This is for northwestern Shelby County, central Indiana, central Morgan County, and central Indiana, northern Johnson County, and southeastern Marion County until 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with this thunderstorm, as well as penny-sized hail. Strongest winds here are actually in Morgan County here, coming up to Martinsville, Adams, Brooklyn, the I-69 corridor here. Right where you see these brighter greens here, that is your winds here associated with this thunderstorm. Embedded pockets of 60 mile per hour at the surface here at this current time. Winds could go up a little bit too. You don't have to go very far above the surface where we have stronger winds of 60 plus. A couple hundred feet above the ground. So very strong thunderstorm here in Morgan County, moving northeast. Let's see what it's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. Areas downstream would be Greenwood, Beech Grove, and just areas north of Franklin, Indiana. Near term, Martinsville, Adams, and Brooklyn be on deck for 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail. Right where you see these brighter greens are, coming up to State Road 39 at this present time. Very strong winds here associated with this thunderstorm here. This is our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day. Areas just to the south where you see these blue boxes here, those are special weather statements. These are for storms that are strong, but are not currently severe at this present time. But Morgan County, Indiana, probably be in your safe place, interior room, away from windows until the storm has passed. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail. These winds are strong enough to cause quite a bit of tree damage and can cause some minor structure damage as well. So again, very strong thunderstorm here in Morgan County, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. Adams, Brooklyn, and Martinsville on deck for 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail. Likely going to go just to the south of the Mooresville area, moving towards the Adams area. You guys are on deck for 60 mile per hour winds and could have some embedded hail in there, up to penny size. Good afternoon, Deborah. Good to see you guys in here. Great hanging out with you here today. We will be live here covering this warning through its entirety. And we'll be also live throughout the day as more warnings are issued by the National Weather Service as storms go severe. We do expect another round of severe weather here later today, potentially across southern and southeast Indiana. We'll have to see how this first round here evolves and how it affects the atmosphere to allow storms to fire or not to fire later this afternoon. Right now, this storm is actually coming into I-69 right now near Adams. Adams is right now where the gust front is at this present time. We're actually, let me pull you up here. Here's a live view of Adams. This is State Road 49 and I-69. You can see whiteout conditions because of rain. We have very low visibility here. You can see the rain curtains there blowing. Very strong winds here associated with this thunderstorm. You can see the drivers on I-69 here, north and southbound, both have their hazards on. This is real time. This is live right now in Adams. If we zoom in, we are at State Road 49 and I-69. This is a live look here at the overpass of State Road 44. I think I said 49. I apologize. 44 and I-69. Windsor Halloween. Low visibility here. Near zero, especially for the drivers on I-69. You have road spray on top of this, so a very dangerous storm here crossing I-69. This is going to be moving towards the Banta area, Morgantown, Bargersville, and Brooklyn, all on deck for 60 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail. As we go back to radar here, go ahead and switch it back here. So there's, you just saw, this is where the camera was situated at. Right in here near Shelburne was where this camera was at. So the gust front is crossing 69 at this point in time. Going to be moving towards the Chetwynd area, Banta, Waverly, all on deck, 60 mile per hour winds. And could also have some penny-sized hail in there, but we do have some isolated pockets of perhaps some stronger wind gusts trying to mix their way down to the ground. So 60 to 65 mile per hour winds, all possible within this storm. Strongest winds just to the south of Brooklyn, not by much, only by a couple miles, moving east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you're in, we'll go ahead and read the counties off one more time for you. If you're in any of these counties, be weather aware for the next 30 minutes here. This is for northwestern Shelby County in central Indiana, central Morgan County. Currently, it is near Martinsville in Morgan County, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. Northern Johnson County, as well as southeastern Marion County. Greenwood areas and points northward into Marion County, be on deck for 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail. This is in effect for another 37 minutes here. This is our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day here in Indiana. Strongest winds stretching from just south of Brooklyn to Adams to Martinsville, where you see that apex there. This is your gust front here associated with the storm, moving towards the Banta area. Adams, you guys are in it right now. Going to move right along State Road 44, crossing 69 north of Adams right now, moving towards Banta, Bargersville, Greenwood, and Southport. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a very strong thunderstorm. 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail associated with the storm. Areas further south, we have some stronger thunderstorms impacting the Bloomington area in points just to the east towards Columbus. No special weather statement or anything like that for Columbus, Indiana. But these are warned for, or not warned, are statemented for strong thunderstorms, 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and pea-sized hail. So we do have some stronger thunderstorms in the vicinity here that are just below severe criteria, but strong enough to blow some loose objects around, such as patio furnishings, trash cans, stuff like that, are prone to blowing around. Just south of Salem, Indiana, outside Louisville, so far southern Indiana here. Wind gusts up to 40 mile per hour winds and half-inch hail associated with this. This is in far southern Indiana, south of Salem. Back to our severe thunderstorm warning here. Our storm of interest still have a pretty decent gust front here, still on radar. Crossing I-69, moving towards Greenwood, Banta, Brooklyn, Adams. Adams, you're in it right now. Moving east-northeast, 60 miles per hour, moving towards the Bargersville areas here. As we zoom out here across the region, not much going on north of Indianapolis. The highest severe weather risk today is going to be pretty much central and southern Indiana. We don't expect much across northern Indiana. There could be a slight chance something may fire across east central Indiana. Think Fort Wayne and south, but that's a pretty low probability at this point in time. Best chances are in this vicinity here. We'll have to see how the atmosphere recovers after this round of rain moves into Ohio to see what ingredients are left over. Are we going to have enough ingredients in place by the time the cold front comes through to initiate another round of storms? That is still up in the air right now. Not impossible that we won't see that. It really depends on how well we destabilize this afternoon. Are we going to have enough time for the atmosphere to re-energize ahead of the cold front, or is this going to be it for the day? That's something we're still playing around with, and something that we're going to have to keep an eye on as the afternoon progresses. Severe thunderstorm warning, so in effect 34 minutes here. Strongest storm currently still in Morgan's County, going to be exiting Morgan County here pretty soon, and we'll be heading towards the Greenwood area, Franklin area, and the Beech Grove area and point southward here probably in the next 20 minutes. Your gust front right in here. You can see that apex there are brighter colors. And that's your leading edge of the gust front here. It matches up pretty well with the heavy rain. So we're going to get wind and rain at the same time. And near zero visibility if you're on 69. We saw that feed earlier from a DOT camera on State Road 44 in 69. Whiteout conditions. Zero visibility just because of the heavy rainfall associated with this. And there could also be some small hail embedded in this storm as well. It does have an updraft capable of producing penny-sized hail, which is 0.75 inches in diameter. The hail won't cause too much damage, but don't be surprised if you hear some pings on your windows. Hopefully that hail size remains minimal. Once we reach quarter size or 1 inch diameter or greater, that is when hail is considered severe. That is enough to cause some dents on your siding and vehicles as well. So right now we are not at severe criteria for hail, but we are for wind. And this warning has been updated to a considerable warning. This is a level 2 out of 3. 70 mile per hour winds is this warning has been upgraded to. And we do have a confirmed 65 mile per hour gust in Martinsville. That was really close to where we saw that camera a little bit ago. Again, zero visibility. People stopping on the freeway due to low visibility with their hazards on. 65 has been confirmed in Martinsville, which prompted the warning to go to 70 mile per hour and a considerable tag on it. This is a level 2 out of 3 on the severe thunderstorm warning levels. This storm will be moving towards Greenwood, Indiana, southern Marion County, all on deck for this severe thunderstorm. Very dangerous storm here, a very strong storm here in central Indiana. So Hendricks County, you guys are okay. You guys are not in the path of this. Southern Marion County, think Greenwood and Southport and Beech Grove. So the south side of Indianapolis, the I-69-74 interchange here. Heads up for this storm as it moves in your direction. Banta coming into town right now. Bargersville, you guys are on deck, as well as Greenwood. It's a 70 mile per hour storm with penny size hail, 0.75 there for pennies. So wind-driven hail. Wind-driven hail, although small at pennies, can cause some minor dents. Keep that in mind. If you have any garages, might want to pull your cars inside if you're in the Greenwood area, Franklin area, up to the Beech Grove area. If you guys have that, might not be a bad idea to pull that inside. Although the hail size is small, when you add strong winds to that, especially significant winds of 70 mile per hour winds, that can enhance the damage that hail is capable of, that it wouldn't otherwise be capable of. So anytime you have wind-driven hail, always a good idea to take this storm very seriously. 70 mile per hour winds is no joke. You're on the scale of a weak tornado, a weak EF0 tornado in terms of wind speed is what this storm is at. 70 mile per hour winds is enough to blow trees down, some large, and healthy trees as well. It can cause roof damage, shingle damage. It can cause window damage. It's a very dangerous storm. You need to be in your safe place, interior room, away from windows. Put as many walls or layers between you and the outside as possible until this storm has passed. Martinsville, you guys are in the clear. The worst of the storm has passed. Could be seeing some heavy rain and lightning here for a little bit longer, but the worst of the storm has passed. Those of you in Banta, strong winds entering the town right now. This is going to be coming near county line right here, moving into Johnson County right now for the strongest winds. Still some strong winds on I-69 just to the west of Banta, moving towards Bargersville, Providence, State Road 144 towards Waverly, in areas just to the north. So pointing some other towns here, we got Francis, Greenwood, New Whiteland, Franklin, Hopewell, Providence, all on deck for 70 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail. This is coming just south of Indianapolis here on the south side of town. Downtown Indianapolis, you guys are okay. You guys are not in the path of this storm. It's going to go just to your south, likely just to the south of the bypass here, 6974. I'm going to go really close to you here in southeast Marion County. If you're anywhere between Beech Grove, Southport, and Greenwood, just north of Franklin, you guys are on deck for 70 mile per hour winds. And we do have a confirmed 65 mile per hour gust in Martinsville just a few minutes ago as that storm passed. So this storm has a history of producing significant wind gusts associated with it. So be in your safe place until this storm has passed. This warning is in effect for another 28 minutes. This storm has also had a history a little bit a while ago near Bloomfield, Indiana, rather. Did have a quarter-size hail report, so there are a few larger stones mixed in here. It is currently warned for penny-size hail and 70 mile per hour winds, but there could be a few embedded larger stones that are being pulled down to the surface that are not able to melt all the way. So do keep that in mind. Could have a few quarter-size hailstones in here as well. Otherwise, we are warned for 70 mile per hour winds. This is a considerable tag, which is a level 2 out of 3. We go baseline severe at 60 mile per hour, considerable severe at 70, and destructive at 80. Those are your 3 tiers. We are at tier 2 out of 3 on our severe thunderstorm level criteria. So do keep that in mind. We are at a level 2 out of 3. This is a significant storm and not one to be taken lightly if you were caught outdoors. Torrential rainfall is also occurring with this storm. Rainfall rates in excess of an inch an hour are occurring. Do expect near zero visibility within this storm as well. So again, very low visibility here. Moving towards the Banta, moving in Banta right now, coming into Bargersville, Providence, and Bud as I speak. Coming really close to the State Road 144 and 135 corridor here. This would be in Johnson County, Indiana, with the worst of it just to the south of Marion County, moving towards the Greenwood area, Franklin, and Nineveh areas in Johnson County. Also, not to be reckoned with Spearsville. This is actually in Brown County, some stronger wind gusts trying to mix down there as well, with the strongest winds just to your north in northwestern Johnson County, exiting Morgan County, with the strongest winds moving into Johnson County as I speak. Adams, Martinsville, and Brooklyn, you guys are in the clear from this thunderstorm. Could have some moderate to heavy rain, perhaps some lightning, but excuse me, the strongest winds are out of your vicinity at this time. You guys are in the clear. We'll still have to watch for this afternoon for any storms that are able to regenerate later on. That is a more conditional risk on how the atmosphere recovers. It's all about atmospheric recovery today. Rain and thunderstorms is Mother Nature's way of stabilizing the atmosphere. We're going to have to see how we can re-destabilize later today after these storms move out and into Ohio. So again, more of a conditional risk for round two. Pretty low confidence in that at this point in time, but not zero. Strongest winds now fully into Johnson County here from Banta, Bargersville, Trafalgar, all the way down to the Nineveh area, Greenwood, and Southport, all on deck, coming up to the 65 corridor here, 65 to 70 mile per hour winds here. This is a considerable warning here, in effect for another 25 minutes here for Johnson, Shelby County, and Marion County. Does not include Hancock County. We'll have to see how this storm holds together if we get the Greenfield or not in Hancock County. But for right now, Johnson County has the strongest winds associated with this thunderstorm, with some strong winds approaching southern Marion County as well. South side of Indianapolis from Beech Grove and areas southward. I think 69, 74, and points southward along the 65 I-65 corridor, getting pretty close to you. Greenwood, Franklin, Nineveh. Again, interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Zooming out across the region, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time. Those of you across western Indiana, think Evansville, Terre Haute, you guys are in the clear. We're going to have to watch to see how storms in the atmosphere recovers for you guys down here to see if we get any redevelopment later on today. But for right now, you guys are in the clear. We do have a special weather statement for southern Indiana near the Salem area. Strong thunderstorm right along US 150 here, in effect for another 9 minutes. 40 mile per hour winds and half-inch hail that has been downgraded from 55 earlier, so that's some good news there. But nonetheless, if you know anybody in the Salem, Paoli areas and points eastward, strong thunderstorm headed in your direction towards LaGrange, Kentucky. Areas to the north, we have one special weather statement here about ready to expire here in 10 minutes. Winds of up to 55 miles per hour for the surrounding areas outside the warning area here. If you are within this yellow box here, 70 mile per hour winds are associated with this thunderstorm, and we do have a confirmed 65 mile per hour wind gusts measured and confirmed in Martinsville. So again, a very significant thunderstorm here, capable of producing some very strong winds, moving towards the Greenwood area here in a few minutes, if not there already, getting very, very close to you. So again, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for another 23 minutes here, and this is for northwestern Shelby County, eastern Morgan County. Although the strongest winds have exited Morgan County, and they are now mainly in Johnson County at this present time, moving towards southern Marion counties and northwestern Shelby counties. This is in effect until 12:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for those following counties. Interesting note here, this was actually issued by the National Weather Service in Wichita, Kansas. So might be having some issues with the... That's right. Yeah, NOAA Weather Radio is down currently across central Indiana for emergency maintenance today. That was unfortunately unavoidable. Just poor coincidence that it happened to coincide with a severe weather day today. But the good news, the emergency alert system is still working. So if you have a radio, car radio, your phone, you guys should have gotten alerted in this area that a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for your area. So good news there. Multiple ways to receive warnings, and it's always good to have that available for you. This storm right now, strongest winds approaching the Greenwood area, Bargersville area, Franklin area is getting pretty close to the I-65 corridor here. See the gust front here stretching from Trafalgar all the way up to Bargersville, Greenville. You see the greens there protruding out. That is your gust front here. Getting pretty close to the I-65 corridor here in Johnson County, as well as southern Marion County, starting to get pretty close to you. Southport, Greenwood, Beech Grove, going to be approaching your location here shortly. This severe thunderstorm warning is still a considerable warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. This is a level 2 out of 3 in our severe thunderstorm warning criteria. Baseline severe thunderstorm is 60 and quarter. We move up to considerable, level 2, once we hit 70-mile-per-hour winds. And then destructive tags get issued once we reach 80-mile-per-hour winds. The good news is I don't see 80-mile-per-hour winds on radar at this time, but this storm does have a history of producing winds in excess of 65 miles per hour. We did have that confirmed wind gust back here in Martinsville and Morgan County at a 65-mile-per-hour winds. Zero visibility was reported on I-69 as well for motorists near the Martinsville-Adams area. So again, a very dangerous storm with torrential rainfall also occurring in these storms. We have a lot of moisture to work with today. These thunderstorms are going to be pretty juiced out there today. They're going to have heavy rainfall rates in excess of an inch an hour in the heavier cores of these thunderstorms. Right now, the gust front is approaching I-65 between Beech Grove and Franklin. So again, if you know any motorists on the road, let them know safely that they do have a strong, dangerous thunderstorm moving in their direction. This will eventually reach the I-74 corridor here. We'll have to see how this storm holds together. But for right now, another 20 minutes here. Considerable warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail moving towards Greenwood. Strongest gust front right now moving across US 31, New Whiteland. Greenwood right now, Southport. You guys are getting in on it. And we do have an extended warning now below it for Nineveh, Franklin, and Shelby. This is for Shelby County and Johnson County, southern Shelby County and Johnson County. I guess the southern half of Johnson County and most of Shelby County, rather. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. So the strongest winds are just to the north in northern Johnson County, but southern Johnson County, 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. And this does include Shelby County as well, the southern half of Shelby County, 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. Does expire in 50 minutes here. The storm motion is still moving northeast at 55 miles an hour, so moving pretty fast here across central Indiana. So we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in Indiana, one for northern Johnson County, southern Marion County, northwest Shelby County, and then for central and southern Shelby County and southern Johnson County. So the counties are split here for severe thunderstorm warnings, with the northern part of the counties here, southern Marion County, getting in on a considerable warning, 70-mile-per-hour winds for some stronger winds up here in the larger apex of the storm. A little bit weaker winds down to the south, but nonetheless severe, 60-mile-per-hour winds impacting Franklin right now. Nineveh moving towards I-65, moving towards Shelbyville. So again, a very strong thunderstorm here impacting central Indiana at this time. This storm is heading east towards Connorsville, Greensburg, and Richmond, Indiana is where this complex is moving. We'll have to see how it maintains its strength as it progresses eastward across Indiana here today. It will eventually make it over towards, Richmond, Connorsville, Greensburg, and areas eastward here towards the Ohio border here later this morning. I guess this afternoon. We're 2 minutes till noon, so Eastern Daylight Time. Here's your strongest gust front right now, impacting areas along I-65 towards Greenwood to Franklin to Nineveh, moving east at 55 miles per hour. We do still have this considerable warning in effect Embedded pockets of 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible within this thunderstorm as it moves east at 55 miles per hour, with a new gust front developing on the south, which has been warned with the severe thunderstorm warning for 60 miles per hour for central and southern Shelby County and southern Johnson County for another 47 minutes here. This does include the I-74 corridor here, as well as I-65. The gust front is moving across I-65 as I speak. So visibility is going to drop rapidly here across I-65. In fact, we'll go ahead and get a live look. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to get trimmed back to a base severe thunderstorm warning, which is good. National Weather Service has lower confidence in 70-mile-per-hour winds. It has been downgraded to 60-mile-per-hour winds for both warnings now, which is good news, but nonetheless severe. So do take it seriously. And this is an observed warning as well. Observed 60-mile-per-hour winds. So 60-mile-per-hour winds have been observed here within this severe thunderstorm, impacting areas in Johnson County, Shelby County, and southern Marion counties here in central Indiana. This is an observed warning here for the area. So again, interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. We'll go ahead and take a look at NDOT cameras here. Let's look at I-69 here outside Franklin, and we'll see what it looks like here. Here's a live look. You can see that camera bouncing around here. Very strong winds here. This camera is outside Franklin, Indiana. The strongest portion of the gust front is actually just to the east here, moving towards the Needham areas, Red's Corner, and Bengal areas, Mount Auburn. Strongest gust front moving in your direction here, as well as Bogstown here. But nonetheless, pretty strong winds here. You can see the camera really shaking here as the gust front impacts motorists here on I-65. You can see a lot of tractor trailers have their hazard lights on as the storm impacts their vicinity. So again, very strong thunderstorm here across central Indiana. Go back to radar here. Right in here's your gust front. You can see those brighter colors called an apex. Think of it like an apex of a bow and arrow, where it's drawn back. Your strongest winds are on the back side of this, stretched out from just north of Needham, just near Amity here, moving towards Bengal, Smithland, and Bogstown, Indiana. Strongest winds just to the south of Sugar Creek, but you could get into some gustier winds up there. 45 to 50 mile per hour winds are possible up there in Sugar Creek, with your severe winds a little bit to the south here, exiting Johnson County, moving into central Shelby County here in the next few minutes here. You can see a nice apex here on this bow. No statements or anything south towards Columbus, but we could have some gusty winds here, perhaps for areas just north of Columbus, just south of Shelby and Johnson County, Indiana. And that would be for Bartholomew County right in here. Could have some gusty winds in northern Bartholomew County, below severe criteria. But don't be surprised to see some gustier winds associated with that storm from Columbus to points northward. Strongest winds here, Franklin, Indiana. You guys are through the worst of it. It should be winding down for you here shortly, but still remain in your safe place until the storm has fully passed. Gust front moving into Needham right now. Bengal, Bogstown, Smithland, Shelbyville, Marion, and London all on deck for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that has been observed. We have had measured winds confirmed with this thunderstorm at 60-mile-per-hour winds. So again, do take this storm seriously. Torrential rainfall is also occurring in the storm, as well as penny-sized hail. So don't be afraid or startled if you hear some pings on your windows or siding. There could be some small hail associated with this thunderstorm as well. If you guys are in Morgan County, you guys are fully in the clear from this severe thunderstorm. All warnings have been allowed to be canceled from Morgan County and trimmed back. Johnson and Shelby County is where this storm is currently. If you guys are in southwest Indiana, you guys are clear for the time being. We'll still have to monitor you guys for redevelopment later today if the atmosphere is able to redestabilize later on today. Strongest winds here, stretching from Nineveh, Franklin, and Greenwood at points eastward here, moving into central Shelby County here. You can see these protrusions here. These are pockets of stronger winds that are protruding out ahead of the main thunderstorm here. Very strong winds here are pockets of 60-mile-per-hour winds. Wouldn't be surprised to see an isolated higher wind gust somewhere in that vicinity here, but a very mature gust front here moving towards Shelbyville, Indiana. The storm is moving east at 55 miles per hour and could have some penny-sized hail in here as well, so don't be surprised to see that. So again, a very strong thunderstorm here. I'm just changing a couple things here behind the scenes. Bear with me here. Moving through a couple settings here. Sorry about that. Apex of the strongest winds here are now moving out of Johnson County and into central Shelby County. So if you're in Shelbyville, Sugar Creek, Bogstown, Bengal, it's coming into you right now. Smithland, you're on deck here. You got about 5 minutes or less. Sleepy Hollow, Germantown, Morristown, on deck for 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to go just south of New Palestine. Hancock County up in here, not in a severe thunderstorm warning. This storm is going to go just to your south here in Shelby County. But those of you on deck, Rushville, Greensburg, do have your safe plan ready in case the storm maintains its strength across Shelby County and enters your area here probably in the next 35 minutes or so. Currently the strongest winds now, State Road 44 running right along State Road 44 from Bengal to Bogstown, moving towards Shelbyville. Very strong winds here. You notice here an isolated pocket of perhaps some stronger winds. And something to note here on reflectivity. We call this a clear slot. Right in here, you can see where the precipitation is a little bit lighter here near State Road 44, just north of Bengal. This is what we call an RIJ, or rear inflow jet. And what this is in a thunderstorm, think of it as like a canal or a channel where the storm is able to funnel down stronger winds down to the ground in the center of the apex of the bow. And that's what we see here. That's a fancy weather term for an area of embedded stronger winds associated with this gust front here, right along State Road 44. Wouldn't be surprised to see an isolated pocket of winds a little bit stronger than 60 mile per hour, perhaps, moving into Shelbyville. So do keep that in mind if you know anybody in Shelbyville. Interior room away from windows until the storm has passed. It is warned for 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail. The storm has a history of producing winds stronger than that. Although they are not immediate at this point in time, the storm could always re-intensify and bring those winds back down to the ground. So do take the storm very seriously. If you're in Columbus, Indiana, and points northward near Hope, could have some gusty winds moving in your direction as well. Right now, the severe thunderstorm warning is for Johnson and Shelby County. This warning is in effect for another 39 minutes here, or until 12:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The storm is maintaining its motion northeast at 55 miles per hour. Strongest winds. Get some road names out here for you. Moving towards, looks like, I picked a bad road to start with. If I butchered, I apologize. Marietta Road, I think is what that is. Between Smithland and Shelbyville. State Road 44 is where the strongest winds are. Likely a little bit behind. It's probably a little bit ahead here. It's probably moving into Smithland right now as I speak. Getting very close to Shelbyville here. Marion, London, coming through you right now. Bogstown, you're in it. Bengal, you're in it. If you're in Franklin, Indiana, you guys are in the clear. You guys are okay. The strongest winds have moved off to your east. Just be cautious going outside. There could be some tree debris. You could have some heavy, moderate rain here for the next few minutes as well, and that should slowly taper down. But pretty strong winds here. Moving into Shelbyville, you can see these brighter colors here indicated on radar here associated with this big apex here, this big clear slot of lighter rain. This is what we call an RIJ, rear inflow jet. That's a fancy term for stronger winds being allowed to be funneled down to the ground in a narrow corridor, and that could enhance winds at the surface. So we are seeing that on radar here, embedded here within this line of storms. You can see a couple little kinks here. Those are embedded bow echoes within the bow echo and could have some stronger winds. And we do have a mesoscale discussion that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center, which is a branch of NOAA and the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma. They are planning on issuing a severe thunderstorm watch here no later than 1 o'clock for areas of southeast Indiana. So it sounds like we do have a severe thunderstorm watch incoming for portions of southeast Indiana here by the Storm Prediction Center within the hour. Yep, 80% chance of this watch being issued here for southern Indiana. So pretty likely that we'll see a severe thunderstorm watch here for portions of southeast Indiana here within the next hour or so, if not sooner. Very strong winds here approaching Shelbyville here, approaching I-74 here north of Shelbyville here near the Sugar Creek area, Shelbyville down to Germantown. If you know any motorists on I-74, do let them know they have strong winds heading in their direction. Beech Grove, Greenwood, Franklin, and Nineveh, you guys are in the clear. The strongest storm has passed east in your direction. Could have some heavy rain, some lightning here in your vicinity here for a few more minutes, but the strongest winds have passed just east in your direction here. But very strong winds here approaching Shelbyville. Would not be surprised to see a few instances of stronger gusts here than 60 mile per hour. Wouldn't be surprised to see some 65 gusts mixed in here, especially where you see these brighter pinks here coming into, it would be Old Franklin Road here, getting in on some very strong winds here, getting ready to come into downtown Shelbyville, Rolling Ridge, Candileagle Village here, getting in on some very strong winds here. Bogstown, Marion, Shelbyville, Smithland, Sleepy Hollow, in the St. Louis Crossing here, very strong winds here. Although not in the warning hope, you guys could have some winds up to 50 to 55 miles per hour here. Strongest winds now approaching Shelbyville, Indiana. This would be in central Shelby County. Those of you in Rushville, Greensburg, heads up, will likely see a warning extension issued for you guys here in the next few minutes. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't see that. This storm is maintaining its current intensity, moving east at 55 miles an hour. So do be on deck in Rushville for perhaps 60 mile per hour winds, if not maybe a little bit stronger, as the storm is maintaining its current heading. It is maintaining its intensity as well. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail is the going hazard here with the storm. The strongest winds are now solely in Shelby County, moving east at 55 miles per hour. And we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that will likely be issued here within the hour for portions of southeast Indiana by the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. The Storm Prediction Center is seeing the environment becoming ever so favorable for severe weather across southeast Indiana, central Indiana, and Ohio over the next few hours. Really strong velocity here showing up near Shelbyville, Fairland, Indiana. Could have some very strong winds here entering the city at this point in time, getting really close to I-74, Marion, Indiana, Morristown, Indiana, Sugar Creek, and Smithland. You guys are in it right now. Shelbyville, interior room, away from windows until the storm has passed. Homer, Indiana, I would get ready to get in your safe place as well along the 44 and 52 corridors here near Rushville. If you guys have any loose items outside, now's the time to pick them up. Neighbor Fred doesn't want to pick up your trash cans, so make sure that is in a safe and secure location, as well as any patio furnishings as well. Very strong thunderstorm moving into Shelbyville at this current time. 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail is what this is warned for. However, I would not be surprised to see a few embedded gusts, maybe a little bit stronger than that. 65 mile per hour winds cannot be ruled out in some of the more intense pockets of wind that are able to mix down to the ground here within this complex of storms. So Smithland, you guys are in it right now. Needham, you guys are in the clear. Could have some heavy rain and perhaps some lightning here for the next few minutes here. Plainfield, Indiana. Yeah, not surprised to see that report, Nancy. But again, Sugar Creek, Shelbyville, and Smithland. This is for Shelby County, Indiana. Strongest winds right now moving into Shelby County as I speak. Approaching I-74 here, moving over I-74. We have some pockets of very intense winds. Perhaps Fairland, Clover Village, Candileagle Village, Shelbyville, Prescott, Middletown, Rays Crossing, Manila, Linville, and Marion all on deck for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're likely going to see a warning extension here to include the Rushville area here pretty soon. As this storm is approaching the edge of our warning box here, we're likely going to see that downstream extension here within the next few minutes here. But if you guys are in Marion County, Morristown, Homer, Indiana, and Rushville, Indiana, the strongest winds may go close to Sandusky, if not just a little bit north. But if you're in any of this vicinity here, get in shelter here. As really strong winds are approaching your location. Here's the NDOT camera at I-74 in Shelbyville as the gust front is just now approaching I-74. You can see the camera shaking there pretty violently as the stronger winds are now over I-74 here in Shelbyville, moving towards Marion, Indiana, Homer, and Rushville, Indiana. You can also see how visibilities have gone down significantly too if for motorists on the highway. Cameras always kind of show better visibility than what there actually is. We're facing northeast here, so the winds are actually behind us moving ahead. So do keep that in mind. Winds are actually blowing forward here. So traffic is actually going away and into the wind here at this location. So deteriorating conditions here. This is the I-74 in Shelbyville. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail here associated with this severe thunderstorm. As we go back to the radar here, you can see very pronounced gust front here right along the I-74 corridor here. Now past I-74, moving into Marion County, Indiana, or not Marion County, Marion, Indiana, and Shelby County, Indiana. Very strong winds here. We do have a new downstream warning here, 60-mile-per-hour winds, so they have maintained it at 60, and this is for another 45 minutes here. This is for Hancock County, northern Shelby County, so all of Shelby County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning until the storm has passed. But it also includes Rush County and Decatur County in central Indiana. This is until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Radar indicated this time. And penny-size hail, which is 0.75. So again, very strong thunderstorm here. You can see some stronger winds developing here in northern Shelby County. Going to go just south of Nicetown, if not pretty close to you here, moving towards the Rushville area as well. So a pretty strong thunderstorm here in east central Indiana. This is moving east, northeast at 60 miles an hour, so it has sped up a little bit. The storm has been maintaining its speed between 55 and 60 miles per hour. Kyle asks, are we going to have these storms through the night? Unlikely, Kyle. The cold front is actually going to be moving through here during the afternoon, so after about 9-10 o'clock, the risk goes down substantially. We can't say the same for our neighbors in Ohio. Their risk will go much longer into the evening, into the overnight hours. But because of an earlier timing today, we don't really have an overnight risk for severe weather tonight. We are going to have to watch areas near the Ohio River. Those areas could go a little bit longer, but for central and northern Indiana, your risk is a lot lower today than central and southern Indiana. But the severe risk should end as the cold front moves through later this evening. We are going to have to watch for areas across central and southern Indiana later this afternoon, just in case we are able to destabilize enough to get some additional rounds of thunderstorms to develop. However, confidence is very low in that happening. We will keep an eye on it behind the scenes after this complex leaves the state. That is not out of the realm of possibility here. And we have a large downstream warning just issued here for Connorsville, Richmond, going all the way to state line now. They're giving you a lot of heads up here by the National Weather Service. This is issued by the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. This is for Franklin County, Wayne County, Union, Fayette County, and East Central Indiana until 1:15 p.m. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for an hour just to give you that lead time that we do not see signs of weakening here for this storm. We are expecting it to maintain its strength, if not intensify at times. We could have some stronger winds mixed down to the ground. This storm has a history of producing measured wind gusts of 65, getting close to the significant criteria of 75 or 70 mile per hour winds here with this thunderstorm. Not out of the question here. We could see re-intensification. And we just had a confirmed report of 64 mile per hour winds just on the north side of Shelbyville here, likely in this pocket here as it crossed 74. Measured wind gusts of 64. So again, isolated pockets of winds higher than 60 mile per hour winds. I know this warning is warned for 60, but we could have isolated pockets of higher amounts and stronger winds. So again, do keep that in mind here with this thunderstorm. This is a very powerful complex of storms. So Connorsville, Richmond, Metamora, Brookville, getting in on some rollier terrain down here, so you're not going to see this storm coming. Now's the time to pick up any lawn furnishings you have, trash cans that are out and about. Keep in mind, neighbor Fred up the road doesn't want to pick up your trash, your lawn furnishings, so do your part. If you guys have any of those items outside, pick them up so they don't go in neighbor Fred's yard, and neighbor Fred would appreciate it. Very strong thunderstorm here. Now exiting Shelby County here, and this is going to be moving into Rushville, just north of Greensburg. Greensburg could get graced with some heavy rain here, and this severe thunderstorm warning has been upgraded to a considerable warning here for Shelby County. May get upgraded further east. 70 mile per hour winds here, likely as a result of that confirmed wind gust of 64 miles an hour, getting close to that tagline of 70 mile per hour winds. So again, this has been upgraded to a considerable warning, which is the level 2 out of 3 on our severe thunderstorm warning criteria. We have a baseline general severe thunderstorm for 60 mile per hour winds. Once we go 70, we're at considerable, and if we make it to 80, that's a destructive tag. That's a level 3 out of 3 on our severe thunderstorm warning criteria. Not a lot of hail, penny-sized hail, 0.75 inches in diameter, so 3/4 of an inch is possible here within the storm. But the wind is the biggest risk here with the storm, and that's nothing to be downplayed at all either. Once you reach 70 mile per hour, you're on the scale in terms of wind speed as a weak EF0 tornado. So you're on the scale, you're on the enhanced Fujita scale in terms of wind speed for a weak tornadoes. This is not tornadic in nature, this is straight line winds, but very powerful at that, moving into central Indiana, moving across east central Indiana towards Connorsville, Richmond, and the Greensburg areas in central Indiana. So Rush County, Indiana, very strong winds moving into you. Northern Decatur County, also getting in on some very strong winds. In Greensburg, I know you're not in the warning box as well, but if you're on the north side of town, think I-74 and points northward here, right along State Road 3 here. Wouldn't be surprised to get in some stronger winds here on the north side of Greensburg. There's your gust front coming into Germanstown here. This gust front is now moving into Rush County, Indiana. State Road 44, Homer, Rushville, Richland, New Salem, Sandusky, Adams, and Greensburg, and points northward. So if you live between Greensburg and Knightstown, be in your safe place. No severe thunderstorm warning for Henry County. Newcastle, you guys are not impacted or in the path of this storm. It'll be just to your south, in Guy 70 and south. Knightstown, you guys are okay. Could have some heavy rain here if this storm skirts north just a little bit. Strongest winds, though, moving into central and southern Rush County, as well as northern Decatur County, eventually moving into Fayette County, northern Franklin County, Union, Wayne, and southern Randolph County in east central Indiana. We do have a considerable warning now by the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. 70 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail. So this thunderstorm is significant. 70 mile per hour winds moving into Rush County and northern Decatur County. You can see these brighter pinks here. Very significant winds here associated with the storm, with embedded pockets of very strong winds up to 70 miles per hour. And we have multiple reports of winds exceeding 60 mile per hour in Shelbyville. Another 65 report was just published on the National Weather Service database here out of Shelbyville. So again, a very significant storm here, a very potent storm moving into Rush County, northern Decatur County. Going to be moving towards the Metamora area, Columbia, Connorsville, Cambridge City, getting in on this storm. Again, now is the time to prepare. If you're in the boxes here that are not getting any precipitation yet, now's the time to prepare. If you have any loose items upstairs or outside, cars outside, now's the time to get them in your garage. Now's the time to pick up your trash cans. Any lawn furnishings you have, go ahead and bring those inside your garage or your shed or wherever you keep those items at. Make sure they are secure, Otherwise, they could blow around. Trampolines. If your trampoline's not tied down, now's a good time to do it. If you're in Connorsville, Richmond, in areas over here, if you're in Rush County, you're out of time. You need to be in your safe place until the storm is over, as well as northern Decatur County here in east central Indiana. The storm is moving northeast at 60 miles per hour, so keep that in mind. That's pretty fast. You're only talking a matter here of a few minutes for Rushville here, and a very intense pocket of wind here just south of State Road 44 in Homer, between I-74 and Homer. Sandusky and Rushville, very intense pocket of wind here, moving into central Rush County, Indiana. A very, very strong winds here as the storm moves through. Playing with something here behind the scenes. May not load for me. Let's try to get a camera pulled up near Adams and Germantown in northern Decatur County for you on I-74, but it's not loading. Very strong thunderstorm moving over right now, so signal connectivity may not be there. However, if you're in central Rush County, especially south of US 52, you guys need to be in your lowest level of your home, interior room, away from windows. Treat this as if it was a tornado coming to your house. Significant winds here on velocities here between 74 and US 52. Anywhere you see these brighter pinks here, very strong winds here with this thunderstorm moving east at 60 miles per hour, getting very close to Greensburg and Rushville. If you're in southern Rush County, northern Decatur County, significant winds impacting your location right now as I speak. A very strong gust front here. Wouldn't be surprised to see pockets of 70 plus right in here, maybe a 75 mile per hour wind gust is possible just south of Homer, near Cowdy, moving towards the State Road 3 area. So this is a very potent thunderstorm and a very dangerous thunderstorm. And do be cautious of that until this storm has passed. Power outages are also likely here in Rush County and northern Decatur County. 70 mile per hour winds will blow power lines down very efficiently. It can cause significant damage here across the state. I'm actually going to check the power outage map to see if we have any reports coming in. Yeah, 4,000 customers across the state without power right now, largely associated with this thunderstorm, and these numbers will likely go up as the storm intensifies towards the Ohio border in east central Indiana. So again, very strong winds here associated with this thunderstorm in central Rush County and northern Decatur County. Greensburg, Indiana, we're seeing this gust front extend further south in the warning box here. If you're in Greensburg, I would be prepared for 70 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail. Greensburg and points northward, I would be ready for that. Very strong winds approaching your location at this point in time. So again, interior room, away from windows. If you're in Rushville to Greensburg, this is State Road 3. This is where this gust front is most potent at right now, between US 52, State Road 3, down to Greensburg, moving east at 60 miles per hour. North of Rushville, think up here near Carthage, Mays, Raleigh, State Road 3, north of Rushville. Pretty strong winds here up here as well, closer to 60 miles per hour, right up in here in the northern tier of Rush County. But if you're in central and southern Rush County, significant winds moving in your direction into Rushville right now as I speak. You guys need to be lowest level of your home, away from windows. And the reason we say that is once you get significant winds, tree debris is likely to blow. And that can puncture exterior walls. Don't put yourself in that risk. Interior room, away from windows. Put as many layers between you and the outside as possible. That'll increase your safety through this storm. Significant wind gusts here depicted on radar here. Perhaps a few instances of 70 plus mile per hour possible in central Rush County and southern Rush County, moving towards New Salem, Richland, Orange, Fairview, Rushville, State Road 3 corridor here towards Richland, just north of Greensburg. Significant winds here moving in your direction. You need to be in your center portion of your home, away from windows. Considerable warning here. This is a level 2 out of 3 on our severe thunderstorm warning criteria here. And severe thunderstorm warnings do extend all the way to the state line here. The National Weather Service is trying to give you as much lead time as they can ahead of this complex here It is a very potent complex. It has rapidly intensified as it moved into central and east central Indiana. This is a very strong complex of storms here, racing east at 60 miles per hour. And we do have a severe thunderstorm watch issued here, basically for counties just ahead of this line here. I'll go ahead and turn it on here just in case it has been populated in, and I will show you where that is. This is the severe thunderstorm watch here. Go ahead and turn that on here. It has not been populated in. Once that adds in here, it's basically for areas across central, east central, and southeast Indiana, as well as south central Ohio, ahead of those lines of storms here. But again, so the hazards associated with this watch, 75 mile per hour winds, ping pong ball size hail, as well as a few spin up tornadoes are possible within the area as well, associated with this storm complex. Anytime you get rapidly intensifying complexes like this, you can have embedded circulations called mesovortices on the leading edge. You can have spin-up tornadoes associated with this as well. We haven't seen any yet, but we'll likely see those as this complex works its way towards the Ohio line and into Ohio. So spin-up tornadoes are possible, with the primary risk being damaging winds. Damaging winds is the primary risk here, followed by some isolated small hail, as well as that risk for spin-up tornadoes across southeast Indiana and east central Indiana until the storm has reached Ohio and out of our vicinity. But that doesn't mean the risk will end for our neighbors in Ohio. This risk will actually continue all throughout the afternoon and evening hours and potentially overnight hours for our neighbors to the east. So if you have any friends in Ohio, let them know the risk today. Could have a pretty dangerous day across east central Ohio, or west central Ohio rather, as the storm complex moves east. And something else to note here on radar, notice this comma head shape where you have this clear slot moving in. This is what we call a bookend vortex, or an MCV, mesoscale convective vortex. It's a big fancy weather term for we have some mid-level spin in the atmosphere, not surface rotation, but what this does is it actually enhances the storm. It feeds this complex and allows stronger winds to get mixed down to the ground here, such as just north of Greensburg, northern Decatur County, Sandusky. You guys are getting hammered right now. Likely 70 plus mile per hour winds here associated with the storm outside Sandusky, moving towards Clarksville, northern Decatur County. 70 plus mile per hour winds here in this bright pink pocket here. Significant winds here associated with this thunderstorm from areas I-74 and points northward. Think Greensville to Rushville, a swath of significant wind gusts associated with the storm as well. So again, a very significant storm here impacting northern Decatur County, central and southern Rush County. Going to be moving into Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, Brookville, areas I just mentioned. Be on deck for 70 plus mile per hour winds here associated with this thunderstorm, as significant winds are heading in your direction here. For areas south that are not included in the severe thunderstorm warning, Wilmington went ahead and blanketed a special weather statement for strong winds, 45 mile per hour winds, and penny-sized hail. South of the bright pinks here, where you see these darker reds here, that's what this is for. Sub-severe winds. Your severe winds, think Greensburg to Rushville, and areas just a little bit north of US 52. This swath right in here in particular could have winds up to 70 miles per hour, if not greater. And here's a new severe thunderstorm warning. They actually went ahead and warned that. Did they? Or did they just cancel that? It just appeared and disappeared. I'm not really sure what they did there. It's a different office here. But anyway, 70 mile per hour winds here for Rushville, northern Decatur County. Considerable warning here. In fact, we'll show you what it looks like on I-75, just on the north side of Greensburg here. Your camera is bouncing pretty hard here. Heavy rainfall rates as well. There's no trees here, so it's really kind of hard to tell how strong these winds are from this exact camera angle here. You can see these tractor trailers coming here, how they have their hazards on, and they have slowed down significantly. That reduces the risk for blowover. Again, when you're broadside to these significant winds, it's easy for these tractor trailers to become overturned, especially if hauling empty. So a significant thunderstorm nonetheless here, impacting Central and southern Rush County, northern Decatur County here. Significant wind gusts here associated with this storm. North of I-74 here now, between Greensburg, Batesville, Connorsville, Rushville. This polygon right in here is at risk for the greatest winds here associated with this thunderstorm here. Significant winds here, especially in southern half of Rush County and northern Decatur County here. Just a significant gust front here with this storm. I would not be surprised to see this warning upgraded if we continue to see this intensification here with this thunderstorm. This is not a storm to be taken lightly. This is a very dangerous storm and a very serious storm here for Rush County and northern Decatur County here. Very significant gusts here from Richland, Milroy, down to Greensburg there. Would not be surprised to see this go destructive for right in here. Very, very intense storm here. We are still at considerable 70-mile-per-hour winds, but I would not be surprised right in here, the Rush Decatur County line here, where the strongest winds are associated with this thunderstorm here, is really coming together, and it has that look for it to be a powerhouse of a storm coming towards Metamora. So if you're in Metamora, I would be in your safe place, interior room, away from windows. Prepare for significant straight line winds on the scale of perhaps a weak tornado. Now, these winds are not tornadic in nature at this time. However, these winds are strong enough that they're on the scale of a weak tornado, so you need to treat it as such. Lowest level of your home, away from windows, and put as many layers between you and the outside as possible. This is a very dangerous storm here. Moving into the Connorsville area, Columbia area, and Metamora area, north of Batesville, Indiana. This will be for Fayette County, Franklin County, as well as southern Wayne County as well. Also on deck here for the severe thunderstorm as well. Strongest winds, though, associated with the storm moving into Fayette County and Franklin County here in east central Indiana. Union County, you're also on deck here. So Union, Fayette, and Franklin counties here on deck for the most significant severe weather gusts associated with this thunderstorm. And they have extended the warnings further south as well. They have been warned for nickel-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here. Well, we have nickel for Indianapolis. Wilmington has quarter-size hail. So two different offices here, two different preferences here, but nonetheless a very strong storm, a very dangerous storm, and an ever-intensifying storm as well. So do take it seriously if you're in any of these areas from Seymour, Mount Vernon, Batesville, all the way up to Richmond, Indiana. So think Wayne County all the way down to Jennings County, I believe. Jennings and Ripley County here. Be in your safe place, interior room, away from windows here. And we also have a couple little notches starting to show up here too. So spin-up tornadoes cannot be ruled out here, where you get those eddies to form called mesovortices on the leading edge here of this line. So a very intense line, a very powerful line here. Moving into Fayette County, Franklin County, as I speak, in northern Ripley County. On deck as well. But again, if you're in northern Franklin County, in the southern half of Fayette County, be on deck for 70+ mile-per-hour winds here. A very significant storm here moving in your direction. This is a considerable warning here. Quarter-size hail. Hail size has gone up. Anytime you get significant winds coupled with severe criteria hail, the hail damage goes up. The hail is able to produce more damage thanks to it being wind-driven hail. So if you're in Connorsville down to Batesville, be prepared for that wind-driven hail. Hail being blown at your house at 70 miles an hour, the size of quarters or 1-inch diameter. So do be prepared for that. And we can't rule out a spin-up tornado here either. We're starting to see that notch, that classic, what we call a QLCS notch, quasi-linear convective system notch. Although this complex is actually termed an MCS, which is just another weather term for a storm complex. The difference between the two, one's a line of storms associated with a cold front, the other one is out ahead of the cold front. This one being out ahead of the cold front is just given another name, but nonetheless powerful, and that's the one thing we need to worry about here is the strong winds associated with the storm. Moving into Fayette County as well as Franklin County here, strongest winds in east central Rush County and northeast Decatur County here in east central Indiana. Moving east, let's see what our storm speed is doing here. Moving east at 55 miles per hour here. Considerable warning here on this storm, a very powerful storm. If you're in Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, interior room, away from windows. If you don't have a basement, interior room is preferred, away from windows, bathrooms, closets, anything you have to give you the most layers between you and the outside as possible until the storm has passed. Those of you in the clear, Shelbyville, Shelby County, you guys are okay. The warning has been allowed to be trimmed out of your area. Greenfield, Hope, Columbus, you guys are in the clear. Rushville, it'll start calming down for you shortly. Still remain in your safe place for a few more minutes. However, Columbia, Indiana, Connorsville, Indiana, and Metamora, interior room, away from windows, and I just don't like that notch there. It has that look at it. Let me pull up a different tool here that I use. Yeah, I don't really see anything there. Right now, really strong winds here being amplified here. Whoa, we don't need two of those showing up. There we go. And this is associated here with some stronger winds being funneled down on the backside of this storm here. Plan on 70 mile per hour winds here between Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, and Batesville. I think north of the I-74 corridor here, and south of US 40. US 40 to 74, this swath here has the best potential for 70 plus mile per hour winds here associated with the storm complex, as it is now exiting Rush and Decatur County and moving into Fayette County, Franklin County, and getting close to Union counties in east central Indiana. Richmond, the strongest winds will likely go just to your south. However, this storm could expand. The storm has been showing signs of intensification, so I would be in your safe place in Richmond. Along US 27 here, getting pretty close to you in the next half an hour or so, or less. Areas just to the south, severe thunderstorm warning, quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds here from Seymour, moving into North Vernon here, moving into the Versailles area, Milan, Indiana, Batesville, areas just south, an ever-expanding storm here. We do have a storm just to the south here that is not warned, but something to watch here as these storms move east, racing towards the Ohio border here. Strongest winds right here at the Fayette-Franklin County border here, right where Rush, Fayette, and Franklin counties all meet here in that bright pocket there just north of US 52, or right on US 52, moving towards the Laurel, Indiana area here. A very strong line of winds here moving into Columbia, Alpine, Laurel, Metamora as I speak. Again, a very, very dangerous storm here, moving into east central Indiana between I-74 and US 40. Think the I-70 corridor to I-74 corridor, that swath has the best potential for seeing severe weather at this point in time, with the strongest being within that corridor. Areas just south, you are warned for 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail from Mount Vernon to Versailles and over towards the Ohio line. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail. We'll have to watch to see if we have any intensification here with this storm. Pretty potent storm here just north of Seymour, showing signs of some quarter-size hail within that cell as well, moving east to 55 miles per hour. The most significant portion of the line is to the north between Greensburg and Connorsville. Very strong winds here moving into Franklin County and Fayette County in east central Indiana. 70 mile per hour winds here are associated here with this thunderstorm. This is warned for 70 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail for Franklin, Union. Actually, go ahead and read it here for you. Is in effect for Franklin County, Wayne County, Union, and Fayette counties, east central Indiana, for 70 mile per hour winds, penny-size, or quarter-size hail rather, moving east, northeast at 55 miles per hour. So again, a very significant storm here moving into Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, likely moving into Columbia right now as I speak. Connorsville, you have about 5 minutes, as well as Metamora. Probably seeing some rain right now in Metamora. That gust front is right on your tail. Getting ready to cross State Road 121, coming right up to 121 here between Connorsville and Metamora. Again, rollier terrain down here too. It's kind of hilly. It's forestry down here. Don't look for the storm. Be prepared for the storm. Be in your safe place, interior room, away from windows. Lots of reports of power outages too in central Indiana as a result of these storms. We're at 5,000 customers without power across this entire region. These numbers will likely go up. 70-mile-per-hour winds is sufficient enough to blow down trees, power lines, cause structure damage. It's a very dangerous storm. You guys need to be in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from windows until the storm has passed or given the all clear. If you guys are in the east side of Rushville, let's say west of State Road 3 in Rush County, you guys are in the clear. Rushville and points westward, you guys are in the clear. The worst of the winds have passed. Could have some heavy rain, some embedded lightning as well, but the worst of the storm has passed. It's now entering Fayette County and Franklin County, as well as southern Wayne County. Could get in on some gusty winds as well. Some significant 70-plus mile-per-hour winds are possible here with the storm. Moving into the Connorsville area, Metamora. This is State Road, I believe 121. Yep. 121 corridor here. And Fayette and Franklin counties here, seeing some really strong winds here associated with this storm. An intense pocket just southwest of Columbia. Would not be surprised to see some embedded gusts in there, 70-plus mile-per-hour winds here associated with this thunderstorm. We have a considerable warning here. 70-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Considerable tag on it is in effect for another 30 minutes here as it races towards our neighbors to the east in Ohio. The second round is, I see a lot of questions in here for round 2. That is highly conditional on how the atmosphere evolves after round 1. Confidence is actually quite low for round 2 today, and that's because the cold front is not too far away as it's going to be working its way across the state. So the uncertainty here is time. How much time are we going to have to allow the atmosphere to destabilize and re-energize before the cold front stabilizes the atmosphere and points behind it? That's what we don't know. Right now, confidence is very low in round 2. I would focus on this being the primary risk here today as it moves into Ohio. We could see additional storms redevelop, especially across southwest lower portions of Indiana. However, confidence is pretty low. Yeah, best timing for redevelopment would be probably between the 3 and 9 p.m. time frame. Areas after 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Guidance does show enough instability moving into southern and central Indiana for perhaps a few isolated storms developing. Some of those could be strong to severe, so it's not something to let your guard down yet. We are going to have to keep a very close eye on that later today. So think Indianapolis and points southward and eastward. Perhaps maybe a little bit of northeast Indiana. I think Muncie and east could get in on some storm action later today. But again, it's conditional on how the atmosphere is able to recover. But latest guidance does perhaps show some more instability working its way northward ahead of the cold front. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But for right now, our main focus is here across east central Indiana. Considerable warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds to level 2 out of 3 on our severe thunderstorm warning criteria. 70-mile-per-hour winds equates to a considerable warning. If we reach 80 miles per hour, that'll be a level 3 out of 3 destructive tag. We have not seen that yet, but this storm is very powerful. Wind gusts of 65-mile-per-hour winds have been sustained and confirmed across a large portion of east central Indiana now for quite a while with this storm. So this storm is at least capable of producing 65, if not 70 plus in isolated pockets here. So again, interior room away from windows. It is now crossing State Road 121 is now over you right now. Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, you guys are in it right now. Brookville, you guys are on deck all the way up to Liberty. State Road 101 here and 27 all on deck for 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Areas just to the south, Batesville, Versailles, Milan, Mount Vernon, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, all on deck for you guys here as the storm is also moving east-northeast at 55 miles per hour. So a very dangerous storm here. Richmond, you guys are on deck as well. The strongest winds just to your south. 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible, if not likely, for you guys in Richmond. Sorry, my face there blocked you guys. I apologize about that. Strongest winds here in bright pink could cross the southern portion of Richmond here. Could impact you guys as well. So interior room, lowest level of your home, away from windows if you're in southern Wayne County, Indiana. Right now, significant winds impacting all of Fayette County as well as western Franklin County, racing to the east at 55 to 60 miles per hour, as well as quarter-size hail. So wind-driven hail. Those are hailstones, quarter-size, 1-inch diameter, being blown at 60 to 70 miles per hour. Acts as a sandblaster at that point in time. Quarter-size hail can cause significant tree damage, foliage damage. It can cause some crop damage if there's any crops up in this area. Luckily, thankfully, our crops are small now. Hopefully, the growing points are still under the ground to where these crops can recover if there is anything in the ground here in this area. But again, a very strong storm here moving into Metamora, Columbia, Connorsville, racing to the east at 60 miles per hour, 55 to 60 miles per hour. Hazards, 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. Areas just to the south. Just southeast of Rushville here, we're getting reports in, damage reports of power lines down, trees down, so do be careful if you're in this storm, as it is causing damage. Power outages were 5,000 customers about 10 minutes ago, but that number is likely increased significantly as this powerhouse of a storm is racing east towards the state line here, moving into Union County, getting very close to you. If you guys are in Liberty, seeing some rain right now, you guys need to be in an interior room away from windows. Treat this as you would a tornado. Once we get to the scale of 70 mile per hour winds, you're on the scale in terms of wind speed as a weak tornado. This is not tornadic winds, this is straight line winds. Think of it as a steamroller. A steamroller of straight line winds, the 70 mile per hour winds, is racing east at 60 miles an hour. That's what you need to look at this as. However, 70 mile per hour winds is no joke. If you place yourself near an exterior room, you place yourself at risk for being inundated with tree debris. Tree debris can puncture exterior walls being blown at 70 miles an hour. It can crack windows. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Interior room, away from windows. If you guys are in a camper, RV, prefabricated home out ahead of this line, you guys need to find a sturdy structure, fixed foundation, and away from windows as well. Again, nowhere outside is safe from severe weather. No trailer is safe from severe weather either. You risk yourself for rolling. Air can get underneath your trailer. It can roll. You risk yourself at tree debris being inundated as well. Very dangerous place to be for severe weather. So again, have that safe place in mind and be on your way there right now if you're in eastern Franklin County as well as Union County. A very large severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for West Central Ohio, all the way to Dayton, Ohio, and Piqua, Darke County as well, getting on this severe thunderstorm warning. 70 mile per hour winds and considerable tag issued by the National Weather Service in Wilmington. This is usually they issue blanket warnings like this way ahead if they don't see signs of weakening. And really, there's nothing atmospherically ahead of the storm that supports the storm from weakening. Unfortunately, it's going to maintain its strength. We have plenty of lift in the atmosphere. We have plenty of instability in the atmosphere. And we have a lot of wind shear to work with as well, which is going to keep the storm rolling. It's going to keep it racing off to the east. So if you know anybody in West Central Ohio, let's say from Hamilton to Dayton, do let them know that this storm is heading in their direction very quickly. Moving into Union County right now, southern Wayne County, as well as western Franklin County right now for the strongest winds here. You can see this large apex here, this powerhouse of a storm here, moving towards the Ohio state line here. We're actually getting pretty close to where we're able to switch radars here and get another look at it here. You can see the very strong winds here. I think Indianapolis still shows it a little bit better. For now, we're kind of in a radar gap here. Areas point south. Mount Vernon, Batesville, Versailles, Milan. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail. Perhaps embedded stronger winds here associated with the core here. Let's turn on our hail tracker. We haven't turned on our hail tracker for a while. This shows our updrafts. Pretty large stones. Our largest stones associated with the storm are actually just north of Mount Vernon, where you see the pinks there. A little bit just south of Metamora. Maybe some nickel-size hail in there as well. Maybe some quarters reaching the ground, but the largest stones where quarter-size hail is most likely would actually be just north of Mount Vernon. So we're getting more reports of tree damage here across the region. Power outages are also coming in as well. So again, North Vernon, Versailles, Milan, and Batesville, all on deck for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. You go north, Union County, Southern Wayne County. Let's turn back our velocities here. I'm not sure why that happened anyway. Connorsville, Batesville, Franklin County, Union County, Rush County. You guys are okay. Rush County, if you're in far eastern Rush County, be in your safe place a little bit longer here. If you're in the western side of the county, Shelbyville, Greensburg, and Rushville itself, you guys are okay, in the clear. Do be careful. Watch out for tree debris, power lines down, etc. We're getting lots of reports of damage from trees and power lines being down. So do be exceptionally careful if you are going out and about behind this storm. Significant winds now approaching eastern Franklin County and moving into Union County as I speak. Liberty, you're on deck here in about 5 minutes. Wood Station, Boston, you guys are all on deck here. US 27, State Road 101 here, getting very close to your location here. As significant winds are heading in your direction. So again, interior room, away from windows. Put as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible until the storm has passed. This is a very dangerous storm, a very significant storm, and not a storm to be taken lightly. We do have one special weather statement for this storm that is moving into LaGrange, Kentucky, but does include southern Indiana, but the main storm has moved out of it. Just for reference there, in case anyone's watching in far southern Indiana. This is our storm of interest right now, and the most significant storm in the state at this point in time. Richmond, Indiana, you guys are on deck. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds approaching the south side of town. Cambridge City, you guys are in it. Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, think you guys are in it now. It should be winding down here in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Hang in there. Remain in your safe place here across central Franklin County and eastern Fayette County. Rush County, Southern Wayne, getting in on some significant winds here, moving into the state, into the county here. US 27, State Road 101, approaching Liberty and Brookville, moving into town right now. Interior room away from windows as the storm is racing to the east at 55 to 60 miles per hour, so moving pretty fast as it's moving east towards the state line and into Ohio. This severe thunderstorm warning does extend all the way to Dayton, Ohio. So several counties in advance, the National Weather Service is putting the warning out there saying, hey, we have a serious storm here. You need to take shelter and take this seriously. So they're giving you that lead time on purpose to allow you time to prepare. Do whatever it is you need to do to gather things that are outside, bring them inside, secure patio furnishings, trash cans, and get the shelter. Moving into Brookville right now, significant winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, if not a little bit stronger. Moving anywhere between Brookville up to Richmond, Indiana. Again, this storm has a history of producing winds 65 plus. Trees and power lines are down and scattered all across this region here. From Shelby County, Rush County, all over the region, trees and power lines have been reported down in various areas. So again, if you guys have any damage or anything, do let us know. We'd love to know what you're seeing. As long as you're safe, do not approach down power lines in any circumstance whatsoever. Treat them as if they are always live. You don't have to touch it to be impacted. The ground current from those power lines, if they are live, can be just as dangerous as touching a live power line. So do be very cautious if going out behind this storm. The areas just to the south, near Versailles here, 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail here approach for this storm. This is for Ripley, Dearborn counties, as well as southern Franklin County in east central Indiana. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail approaching the Milan area, Versailles area, State Road 62, US 421, Batesville. You guys are in it right now with the strongest winds just to your north. Moving into Brookville right now, Richmond right on deck for you guys as well. Going to go ahead and switch radars here. Kind of on a radar gap here, so bear with me here, but we get a pretty good idea of where our gust front is. You can see this big bow here, right on the leading edge, is where our strongest winds are associated with this. Think of it like a bow and arrow being drawn back and those strong winds being released. That is what we have here in the atmosphere. Moving into central Union County right now, US 27, Oxford, Ohio, Brookville, Indiana. You guys are getting impacted right now. On deck for Oxford, Liberty, moving into town right now, West College Corner, Witt Station, Abington, Boston, Centerville, and Richmond. Interior room away from windows until the storm has passed. This is a very dangerous storm, a very significant storm, and does have a history of producing quite a bit of damage. Trees, power lines are down across this region. So, Courage Outage Tracker does still have 5,000 customers without power. That'll likely go up as the numbers are updated. And now we're at 6.6 thousand now. As I said, that number is continuing to grow as reports are coming in here. A very significant storm here as it's getting close to our Ohio border here, going to move into west central Ohio, Oxford, Ohio, Hamilton, Middletown, Dayton. I-70 here getting very close to you as well in Ohio. So if you know anybody in Dayton or points westward, do let them know we have a significant storm moving in their direction here. Our primary focus is in Indiana. A strengthening storm here has been... We are seeing signs of strengthening here a little bit on the southern portion of this line, from Batesville to North Vernon here, moving towards the Versailles area, Milan area, and Harrison, Indiana as well. There'll be Dearborn County, Ripley County, likely see Ohio and Switzerland County possibly get a warning as well as these storms get a little bit closer. We'll have to watch you guys pretty closely here. We do have some storms starting to fire across southern Indiana. We don't want to leave anyone out of the woods here. A couple strong storms near Ferdinand, Boonville, but again, not severe or have any statement on them at this point in time. But we do want to mention that, as we do have other storms in Indiana at this present time, with the strongest being across east central Indiana, as a powerhouse storm complex is moving into west central Ohio here in the next few minutes. This warning is warned for considerable 70-mile-per-hour winds. Quarter-size hail is in effect for another 15 minutes here. Areas to the south, where we have, I believe we have eastern Jennings County, Ripley County, southern Decatur County, Jefferson County. You guys are not in a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time. However, your neighbor to the north, Ripley County, Dearborn County, you guys are in a severe thunderstorm warning here for another 30 minutes here for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Ohio and Switzerland, we're going to have to watch you guys pretty closely here as the storm gets pretty close. Switzerland, you guys might be okay if the storm stays north of you. We might see an extension into Ohio County if this storm maintains this current heading. It'll be very close to you guys in far southeast Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail for the southern half of this line here. And then as we go a little bit further north here into Union County, eastern Franklin County, and southern Wayne County, 70-mile-per-hour winds are associated with the storm, with a history of confirmed reports of widespread 65 miles per hour, with 6.6 thousand customers without power now across this whole vicinity of east central Indiana as a result of downed trees and power lines across the region. So do be careful if you guys are going outside and venturing out behind this storm. If you guys are in Rush County, Indiana, you guys are in the clear. You guys can go ahead and come out of your safe place. You guys are okay. Connorsville, the worst of the winds. Columbia, Connorsville, you guys are almost in the clear. The worst of the winds are just to your east. Still a little bit of heavy rain and some lightning to get through yet, and things will quiet down for you guys, but the worst of it is to your east. Batesville, going through it right now. Laurel, Indiana, things will be calming down for you here fairly quickly. The apex of this gust front here, moving into West College Corner. Liberty, you guys are in it. Brookville, you guys are in it still. Mount Carmel, Witt Station, Boston, Abington, and Richmond on deck for 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds here. Again, a very strong storm, a very significant storm, and a very dangerous storm impacting east central Indiana here over the next few minutes. So this warning has been trimmed out of Fayette County. So Fayette County, you guys are in the clear. Still have some heavy rain associated with it. But the worst of the winds are in Union County and eastern Wayne County, Indiana, as well as moving into central and eastern Franklin County in east central Indiana. Kind of a bad radar interpretation here. We're just in between radars here. We're right smack in between Wilmington's radar and Indianapolis's radar. We're just right smack in the middle, so we don't get the best coverage in this area that we had a little while ago, just because our radar beams are high up in the air, and they're kind of like this. They kind of make an X where they cross each other. They're just really high up in the atmosphere. So as it moves a little bit further east. Going a little bit further south here, strong winds here. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for the Cincinnati area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. This does include Ohio County. Northern Ohio County, I thought they may see an extension here in a little bit, and sure enough, they have been included on the warning train here until these storms have passed. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and this is for eastern Jennings County, Ripley County, Dearborn County, Northern Ohio County. The new warning is until 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Jennings County, the storm is starting to move just off to your east. Mount Vernon, you guys are in the clear. Butlerville, Jackson, stay in your safe place here for a little bit longer yet until the storm has finished clearing. A very strong storm. Still hanging around the Brookville area. Still hanging around some heavy rain. Batesville start calming down for you here soon. If you're in Metamora, up towards west, northwest, you guys are in the clear. You guys are okay. The warning has been trimmed out of your area. This is for extreme northwest Franklin County, Indiana. However, if you're in central, southern, or eastern Franklin County, remain in your safe place until this line has finished moving through. But areas over here are in the clear, including Rushville, Greensburg, and Connorsville. Franklin County, or Fayette County, Indiana, has been allowed to be not included in that severe thunderstorm warning anymore, as the worst of the storms have moved into Union County and off towards our state line. Richmond, Indiana, you guys are getting some pretty strong winds right now. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail in Richmond. Areas just to the south, Batesville, Mount Vernon, Versailles, Milan, Delaware, and Sunman on deck for quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds here. So again, interior room, away from windows until the storm has passed. Treat this as you would a weak tornado. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible until the storm has passed. You can see the extent of it, stretching from about just north of Richmond here all the way down to Mount Vernon here. This is our whole storm complex here that'll be racing towards west central and southern Ohio here over the next 30 to 40 minutes here. So if you know anybody in this vicinity here from Columbus, Cincinnati, Georgetown, Ohio, do let them know. We have some pretty strong storms moving in their vicinity over the next few minutes here. We do have some storms firing across southern Indiana. Lots of lightning near St. Menard and Dale. However, they are not severe at this moment. They have no no warnings on them yet, but something to watch. We're going to have to watch this. We have another storm complex moving into southern Illinois that'll be moving into southern Indiana here this afternoon. So it is possible we see some severe thunderstorms off of that later this afternoon, something to keep an eye on later today. Strongest winds are now moving into Ohio here, moving just to the east of Richmond, moving into Oxford, Ohio. Brookville still in it. Getting in on some very strong winds here in Brookville, Metamora, Franklin County, Ripley County, Dearborn County, Northern Ohio County getting in some strong winds as well. This warning is in effect for another 23 minutes here. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. For Dearborn and Ohio County, you guys have 52 minutes left in your warning until this storm has passed, or the warning is otherwise canceled if the storms move out a little bit quicker. Still a significant line of storms here. Last report we had over 6,000 customers without power across east central Indiana, with the strongest winds primarily south of I-70, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Connorsville, again, you guys are in the clear. Fayette County, you guys are clear. Decatur County, you guys are in the clear now. This warning will likely be trimmed back here soon. And there it is, just got trimmed back. Jennings County, you guys are in the clear. Mount Vernon, Greensburg, Rushville, Connorsville, Columbia, Metamora, you guys are in the clear from this storm. Could have some lingering showers and perhaps a rumble of thunder or some lightning, so do be cautious of that. And also be cautious of any debris that you find, including power lines. Never approach down power lines. Always treat them as if they are live. It only takes a half an amp to kill an adult human, and there is much more than that traveling in those power lines, so do be very careful of those, as well as ground current. You don't have to directly contact the line to be hurt or killed by a down power line. Ground current can be just as dangerous as well, so never approach a down power line unless given permission by the power company itself or emergency management, but otherwise never approach a down power line if you see one down. Barely raining in Muncie, says Dave. Yeah, you guys got lucky. You guys are on the north side of this complex. Some rain, maybe rumbles of thunder, but a pretty nice gentle rain really up here for areas from Winchester, Muncie, Portland, Salina. Pretty nice general rain, all things considered. That is not the case the further south you go. From Henry County, or sorry, not Henry County, you guys are in the clear. Wayne County, Fayette, and Union still in a severe thunderstorm warning. Sorry, Fayette has been trimmed out. Union County and Wayne County still in a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as eastern Franklin County in a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Anywhere from northeast Franklin County, Union County, as well as eastern Wayne County in east central Indiana. Considerable warning, a level 2 warning, considerable. 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Areas just to the south, southern Franklin County, Dearborn County, Ripley County, and northern Ohio County. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds is a going hazard here as these storms move in your direction at 55 miles per hour. But we do have multiple reports of trees down, power lines down across the area and across the region as a whole. So do be very careful if you guys are venturing outside during this event. Could have some tree damage as well as some structure damage as well. Do let us know if you see any damage or anything like that. We'd love to know what you're seeing, where you were at. Please let us know. Much appreciated. We are watching a couple storms here across southern Indiana as well. These are sub-severe at this point in time. No statements or anything on them. For our next round this afternoon, we are watching these storms in southern Illinois. We'll have to see what the atmosphere is able to do here, recovery-wise, here this afternoon. Are we able to get more instability to build before that next batch of thunderstorms and rain moves in? Or are we going to not see that instability rebuild and see those storms weaken and just become rain? That is some uncertainty yet to know and yet to figure out here this afternoon. But for now, significant severe weather is occurring across east central Indiana, southeast Indiana, as these storms move into Ohio. Considerable warning, 70-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail for northeast Franklin County, Union County, and eastern Wayne County here for another 3 minutes here. We'll have to see how that gets trimmed back. If you're in Connorsville, western Wayne County, such as Cambridge City and points westward, Newcastle, you guys are in the clear. You guys are not in immediate risk for severe weather. The worst of the storm has moved off to your east. If you guys are in the Mount Vernon area, which would be the Jennings County area, you guys are in the clear. That is not the case for Ripley County, Indiana, as well as Dearborn County. You guys are in it or on deck for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Same goes for northern Ohio County. You can see the line kind of split Ohio County in half between Florence and Friendship here. Kind of split it in half here. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail is possible there. But the strongest winds of 70-mile-per-hour winds have actually moved into Ohio now. Winds should be tapering off here across Union County, Indiana, and eastern Wayne County, Indiana. You guys should be seeing a decrease in winds here very soon, if not right now, or already have. That's some good news there. We're going to have some heavy to moderate rain. A lot of lightning associated with the storm, too. You can see all those individual little lightning bolts here around Richmond. Lots of lightning there, as well as scattered about throughout this entire complex. Lots of lightning, lots of wind. It's a very powerful storm all the way around. You can see some stronger wind gusts starting to work their way in Milan, Indiana, just north of Versailles. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail, moving right along US 50 here, along the State Road 350 area, as well as 101. Could have some gusty winds there mixing in, perhaps some quarter-size hail as well. With the strongest winds just to your north, just on the north of the county line, moving into Cedar Grove, St. Peter, Mount Carmel. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds there. We see the brighter pinks there being depicted on radar. The storm complex is continuing to move east until it is fully out of the state of Indiana. Once it does so, the severe weather risk for this system, at least the storm complex, will be in Ohio. But we will have to watch our storm complex to the west across Illinois to see how it evolves as it moves into southern Indiana here later today. Will it move into an environment that has been stabilized from this rain shower activity and thunderstorm activity, or will it move into an environment that was allowed to destabilize? These are things that we're still working out and will need to be ironed out here this afternoon. Union County, Indiana, Wayne County, Indiana, you guys have been allowed to be canceled from the severe thunderstorm warning. You guys are in the clear. If you guys are in Liberty, Connorsville, Richmond, Cambridge City, you guys are clear from severe weather. The severe weather threat has ended. Could have some heavy rain in Union County, especially southern and southeast Union County. Could have some heavy rain, lightning, but your severe weather risk is over for now. We will have to watch round 2 later today to see how the atmosphere recovers and how storms are able to feed off that, or will they not be able to materialize and it could just be rain or nothing at all. All those cards are still on the table here for this afternoon. It's really a wait-and-see game to see how well the atmosphere is able to recover and how fast it is able to recover. It's all about a speedy recovery for round 2 today before that cold front comes through and stabilizes things for the night. Jennings County has been allowed to expire. You guys are clear, as well as Decatur County. Ripley County, you guys are still in a severe thunderstorm warning. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail. Dearborn County as well as northern Ohio counties. 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail associated with these thunderstorms here. Areas behind this complex, you guys are in the clear for right now. We will have to watch additional thunderstorm development later today and this afternoon. Think 3 to 4 p.m. time frame through about 9 to 10 p.m. is something that we were going to have to keep an eye on for later today for round 2, and that would be about Indianapolis up to Muncie, maybe Portland, and areas south and southeast. Something to watch for later today, but again, that is highly conditional, dependent on atmospheric recovery. We need a speedy recovery. We need to rebuild our instability up a little bit before the cold front moves through and stabilizes the air around it. So those are all ingredients that we're going to have to keep an eye on over the next few hours here. Strong winds still in eastern Franklin County. Some pretty strong winds here as well. Yeah, so a quick update for our neighbors to the east here. If you guys are in, I'll go ahead and read these counties off for our neighbors to the east here.
This will be for this is Ohio. Keep that in mind. In fact, until 1:45 p.m. This is for Butler, Preble, northwestern Warren, southern Darke County, Montgomery, and southern Miami counties in Ohio. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. That does include Hamilton, Middletown, Oxford, Dayton, and surrounding areas here. Here's your most potent portion of the gust front here, moving towards the Eaton area, coming near Brookville, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Kettering, Centerville, Middletown, and Oxford. A very strong gust front here, a very mature gust front moving towards the Brookville and Dayton areas shortly. As we go a little bit to the south here for our neighbors in the east here, we have a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for northern Kenton County, northern Campbell County, northern Boone County, Hamilton, and southern Butler counties in Ohio until 117. 117 is when they issued it. So they just issued it. I'm trying to find the end date here for you. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. That's okay. In effect for another 42 minutes here, including Cincinnati Metro here, for this line of storms moving in your direction that has shown signs of intensification on the southern extent of this line. So that is going to be a place to watch going forward if you live in Ohio. Yeah, so in Preble County, Ohio here, notice where we have a lot of little notches going on, where it looks like a saw blade. Where we have that going on, we could have some individual areas of surface rotation trying to develop within the leading edge of that line. So that is something to keep an eye on here pretty closely. You can see a nice little hook appendage on it outside Brookville, right in here. Could have perhaps a chance for an embedded tornado there in west central Ohio. A little bit to the south here, strong thunderstorms are forming here. This warning has been trimmed back to include southeast Franklin County only now. And this warning is in effect for another 10 minutes here. But all of these warnings down here from Versailles, Milan, Lawrenceburg, Harrison, that'd be for eastern Ripley County, Dearborn, Ohio. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail possible for you guys. If you guys are in Union County and Wayne County, Indiana, your severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. You guys are in the clear for now. We're going to have to watch this afternoon to see how that redevelopment occurs, where instability sets up, and how much. That's the question. How much instability are we going to be able to obtain before the cold front comes through? That's the million-dollar question that we don't know at this time. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on here this afternoon. However, recent guidance does suggest that just enough instability is going to move into the state to help promote additional thunderstorm development later this afternoon, perhaps 3 to 9 p.m. or so. But a really strong gust front here stretching from Oxford, Eaton, all the way up to the Brookville area on I-70. Pretty strong winds here associated with that. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect down here. This is for eastern Ripley County, Dearborn County, northern Ohio County for another 30 minutes or so. And then up here to the north, we have a 70-mile-per-hour considerable threat tag on this warning. Quarter-size hail, which is 1 inch diameter or greater. And this will be moving into the Dayton area here, probably within the next 30 minutes or so. So again, damaging winds up to 70-mile-per-hour winds, wind gusts, quarter-size hail, and a brief spin-up tornado cannot be ruled out along the leading edge here of the storm complex as it moves fully into Ohio. Strongest portion of the gust front right now moving into Brookville, Ohio, east to Eaton, Ohio, moving into Middletown, Ohio. You can see that large apex there. That's your gust front. With another gust front just to the south of Oxford, moving east at, I believe, 55 miles per hour. Just checking a couple things here behind the scenes. Sorry about that. These are only severe thunderstorm warnings in the state at this time. The worst of it has moved into Ohio, which is good news for us. Unfortunately, for those in Ohio, you guys are not out of the woods yet. You guys could have multiple rounds of severe weather today, this morning, and this afternoon. And we are seeing signs of embedded rotation as well on the top side of this line here. And maybe a little bit south of US 35, but right up here, north of Brookville. This is in Ohio, coming in on the north side of Dayton. I-70, State Road 49, that corridor there. Could see a tornado warning pop up here for Ohio if this continues to intensify. We're not there yet, but we're close. So we are seeing signs of perhaps some rotation there. Yeah, and another area to watch here, just southwest of Dayton, is right here. We have this bulge, the surge of air moving out. Sometimes you can get a spin up on the north side of that, where you have two different air velocities moving right beside each other, one faster, one slower. What happens is you get little eddies or mesovortices to develop in those slower channels where that friction is. When you move something really fast next to something that's moving slower, air likes to spin, so you get a mesovortice that develops, and you can get a brief tornado spin up on the leading edge of this line here. But wouldn't be surprised to see they trimmed it back, but they've kept it at considerable and 70. The severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Ohio County, Dearborn County, and far eastern Ripley County here for another 5 minutes for Ripley County, and another 35 minutes for Dearborn and northern Ohio counties here in Indiana. The storm is moving off to the east at 55 miles per hour towards Cincinnati, warned for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. So again, a very strong thunderstorm still impacting portions of southeast Indiana. The worst of the straight line winds have moved out into Ohio and out of Indiana, but we still have far southeast Indiana. Southeast Franklin County still in a severe thunderstorm warning. Eastern Ripley County still in a severe thunderstorm warning. All of Dearborn County and northern Ohio County still in a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time. Still seeing signs of perhaps some broad rotation up in here on the north side of Dayton, as well as southwest of Dayton too. You see that bright little purple or blue dot there, right in here near Farmersville. Actually, we could have a brief spin up tornado possible, as well as north of Brookville. A little bit of rotation showing up there on radar as well. They have not warned that. They have just kept it as a considerable tag. Radar indicated 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. Again, that is radar indicated. Severe thunderstorm warning for Jennings County expires here in 3 minutes, which is good news for them. However, the warning does continue for Ripley, Dearborn, and northern Ohio counties here for another 33 minutes. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail for that storm there. These are our only severe thunderstorm warnings in the state, and that does include far eastern Ripley County, southeast Franklin County, Dearborn, and northern Ohio counties here for about another 30 minutes here. The one for Ripley County is probably going to be allowed to expire here. If you guys are in Versailles, you guys are in the clear. Just off to your west, though, or east, though, could have a heavy thunderstorm impacting Milan right now, outside Delaware. Pretty strong thunderstorm there. Could have some quarter-size hail being reported in this storm, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. Further south, got some special weather statements in northern Kentucky, but these are subsevere at this point in time. Hang on one second here as I do something real quick behind the scenes. So it looks like we've topped out here at about 6,700 customers here without power, stretched across southern Indiana, central Indiana, as a result of this storm complex moving across the state. So a very strong storm complex has caused quite a bit of damage to trees, power lines, and even a few structures as well have some possible damage. Severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire for Ripley County, Indiana. Ripley County, you guys are in the clear. Severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for Dearborn County, as well as northern Ohio County and southeast Indiana. These are our only severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect, and we have been downgraded to a regular severe thunderstorm warning. A considerable warning is no longer in effect in Indiana. However, that is not the case in Ohio. We do have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Ohio. Moving into Dayton, Ohio. If you guys have any friends in Dayton, Ohio, as well as a possible area of rotation here near Clayton, moving around State Road 49 near West Milton, Brookville, Clayton, Trotwood. You guys are in the soup right now. Extremely strong winds moving into downtown Dayton, Ohio, stretching from Middletown up to Brookville, and also some what we call bookend vortex on the north side of that, where we could have a brief spin-up tornado is possible as well. So can't be ruled out near Dayton, Ohio. But luckily in Indiana, these storms are about ready to make their exit, or we'll likely see a break for a little bit before round 2 moves in, potentially across southern Indiana. Think Indianapolis and Point South for the best environment. But we could have perhaps a few storms a little bit further north. It all depends on how fast we can recover in the atmosphere. These storms that we're watching our next round, so to speak, are in Missouri right now, moving into southern Illinois, and as these storms track eastward is when we need to monitor the environment to see how we're destabilizing, and that's something we'll monitor here later this afternoon as well. But severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for Dearborn County, northern Ohio County, and that is in effect here for another 29 minutes here, or until otherwise canceled. Those of you behind, or those of you not in Dearborn or Ohio counties, you guys are in the clear near term. We'll have to monitor the weather later this afternoon for potential round 2, if we're able to destabilize enough to sustain it. That's the unknown at this point in time. How much instability is going to be allowed to rebuild before the cold front comes through and stabilizes the atmosphere? Are we going to have enough juice left in the atmosphere after this storm to support round 2? Thunderstorms are hungry animals. They require a lot of instability and other ingredients, and how much of those ingredients are going to be left? Are we going to have enough to feed a thunderstorm, or enough to promote some rain showers and some embedded thunder and lightning? Those are some things that we're going to have to work out here this afternoon and monitor. But for right now, round 2 is possible across central and southern Indiana. Probably between 3 and 4 p.m., lasting through about 9, 10 o'clock here tonight, before that cold front moves through and clears us out for the night. But very strong winds here. I do want to take you to Dayton, Ohio. I know we have some friends in Ohio watching. We do have some significant winds here moving near Miamisburg. I-75, State Road 49 here, US 35. Pretty strong winds here, as well as showing signs of some brief rotation on the leading edge as well. So multiple things to look at there across Ohio, as well as some strong winds moving into Hamilton, Ohio, Fairfield, Forest Park, Harrison, and Cincinnati Metro. Can't forget about you. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail on deck for you guys for the storms that are currently near Milan, Indiana, Lawrenceburg, Aurora, and Harrison. So strong thunderstorm down here, warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. This is moving off to the east-northeast at 55 miles an hour, moving more east than it is north at this point in time, but could have some gusty winds. So Preble County, Ohio, Route 503, getting some damage reports in there. Perhaps a garage door blown in or some weak structure damage, minor structure damage coming in there. So these storms are still producing damage. We are still warned at 70 mile per hour with a considerable tag on it. However, the downstream warning has been downgraded to 60 and nickel size hail. So that's some good news there for our friends in Ohio. Hopefully this storm loses steam a little bit, but it is moving into a favorable environment. So again, if you know anybody towards Columbus, Ohio, in points westward, do let them know. Make sure they remain weather aware this afternoon. But we are watching these storms, the severe storms, exit Indiana. We have 2 counties left in a severe thunderstorm warning. Central and southeastern Dearborn County, or Ripley, Dearborn County, as well as northern Ohio County in southeast Indiana. The strongest winds moving into Dayton, Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio, as I speak, on the leading edge of this gust front that was once impacting central and eastern Indiana. That has left roughly 6.7 thousand customers without power behind the storm across Indiana. So this storm has been producing quite a bit of damage. Turn on a hail tracker here. Let's take a look at the hail here on this cell across southern Indiana. Haven't looked at it for a while and curious to see what our updrafts are doing. Not as impressive as what they once were for the southern cell here. Nothing like what we saw in Jennings and Ripley County, where we saw pretty good indication that we were getting some quarters coming down. But right now, I'd agree with the National Weather Service. Well, actually, they still have it at quarter and 60. I thought they went nickel, but I guess they didn't. Right now, I'd say nickel size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. We'll see what they do. Switch back to velocity for our winds here. There's your gust front right in here. You see how it kind of has some ripples on the leading edge. Watch those for possible spin-up tornadoes in Ohio. It is possible on the leading edge of this storm if you have airs moving at different velocities side by side. Get little eddies spin up on the leading edge called mesovortices. You have to watch for that for our friends in Ohio. Back into Indiana. I'm not seeing that as much, thank goodness. But we do have some gusty winds here in Dearborn County as well as Ohio County. In Indiana, Ohio County may have just been trimmed out of the warning. It may just solely be Ripley County now. Go ahead and read the updated warning here. And yeah, looks like Ohio County was allowed to be out of the warning. This would be for 2 p.m. for Dearborn, Kenton, Campbell, Boone, Hamilton, and Butler counties until 2 p.m. Moving east at 55 miles per hour. The hazard, 60 mile per hour wind. So it has been, so that is good. And quarter size hail. So not quite as intense as what we saw earlier, but nonetheless meeting that severe criteria. So be in your safe place, interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. And that is for Dearborn County. Ohio County has been trimmed out of the warning box at this point in time. So still hanging on here. Last severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Dearborn County here. Ohio has been allowed to be trimmed out of it here. Aurora, Lawrenceburg, Harrison on deck or occurring 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail with that thunderstorm at this present time. Back to our friends near Dayton. A very powerful squall line moving into town right now as I speak. West Carrollton, Kettering, Centerville, Bellbrook. You can see a really pronounced gust front there crossing I-75. Shanersville, Kettering, Ellerton, a very strong gust front there from Franklin northward, 60 to 70 miles per hour there. Very, very strong. But that is not the case down south. We have a little bit of a weaker of a storm here, but nonetheless, still warned for severe weather. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, so still severe. Interior room away from windows for Dearborn County until this morning has been allowed to expire or cancel. And back behind this line, for those of you just joining or are curious about what round 2 is going to look like if we see it, we're going to be watching this complex of storms in Missouri. These storms are moving into southern Illinois around St. Louis right now as we speak. As these storms progress eastward, it's all about atmospheric recovery. How well is our atmosphere going to destabilize and rebuild that energy and juice needed to fuel and sustain thunderstorms and severe weather across Indiana? Are we going to see that rebuild and re-energize, or are we going to see just enough to support some rain showers and scattered thunderstorms and not severe? Those are questions that will need to be figured out here this afternoon as we watch the environment evolve. After this line of storms and clouds cover moves out of eastern Indiana, what's that going to leave behind, and how does the atmosphere respond? How does it recover before our cold front comes through? Right now, one severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect, and this is for Dearborn County in southeast Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail is the going hazard here. With this will be out of Indiana and into Ohio, and flirting with Kentucky a little bit too in the next few minutes here. So we're very close to having our severe thunderstorm warning out of Indiana. We just have a few more minutes to go, and then it will be gone. For now, we'll have to watch other storms in the vicinity and later development here this afternoon for an additional round 2 that's possible. Couple strong storms here in northern Kentucky outside LaGrange. Special weather statement on those for 20 minutes here. 40 miles per hour at half-inch hail. So again, not severe for the storms south of our borders here in northern Kentucky. As we move back a little ways, northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, a few showers, maybe some rumble thunderstorms, but those are not strong or severe at this point in time. Our only severe thunderstorm is now in west central Ohio and extreme southeast Indiana, moving into the Cincinnati area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Until this storm has moved fully out of Indiana and into Ohio and perhaps far, far extreme northern Kentucky as well. We're going to have to keep an eye on that area and the environment later on today. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect at Dearborn County, Indiana. That is our last severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana at this point in time before a potential round 2 here this afternoon. Or later this afternoon, I should say. It is going on 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And I do want to say thank you guys for joining us here so far on our live coverage stream. We'll be live covering every severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana from beginning to end. That is our mission, to keep you covered and ahead of the storm from beginning to end with up-to-date weather information as well as radar coverage during times of severe weather. Especially today, NOAA Weather Radio has been unavailable for those across central Indiana. So that's one excellent resource that is not available for some today due to an emergency maintenance job that was unfortunately unavoidable. It had to be done. So thank you guys for following along with us today. And we will continue to post updates on the page as well. So we are watching our severe thunderstorm warning for Dearborn County. Ohio County has been allowed to be trimmed out of the warning. You can see Ohio County right here, Dearborn County right here. So basically, eastern and southern Dearborn County are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And this is moving east at 55 miles per hour. So moving very, very quickly. And it's almost out of the state of Indiana. Getting pretty close here now. Just seeing that this entire complex out of the state, which is good news. But then we're going to have to watch central and southern Indiana for round 2 later this afternoon, say 3 to 4 p.m. and onward, on how the atmosphere evolves, how we recover, how much instability are we going to be able to obtain before the cold front comes through. Timing is a concern there. Is there going to be enough time for the atmosphere to cook again, to be put back in the oven ahead of our cold front? Or is there not going to be enough time? Are we going to get the full cookie, or are we just going to be left with some dough and enough ingredients to support some rain? That's the unknown at this point in time. And if we do go live on Facebook, feel free to do an exclamation point and the word notify. That'll notify you and your phone. Your phone will get an alert or a little notification that says we are live. So if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued in Indiana and we go live again later today, you'll be notified right away on that information, and you'll be able to tune in on the information that is given here, and we'll be able to provide you with that radar coverage for areas of greatest concern here in Indiana. From beginning to end. That is what we strive for here at Indiana Weather Online and Indiana Storm Chasing Network, to have you covered from beginning to end whenever severe thunderstorms strike Indiana and we have warnings issued in the state. You can see in the bottom chat there, we just issued an exclamation point notify. Go ahead and type that in the group chat, and you'll be notified when the stream goes live again here later today. We'll probably hop off here after the storm exits Indiana. We have the severe thunderstorm warning exit. Take a little break here. We have some things to work on here behind the scenes before we monitor the afternoon for a potential round 2. But that's largely conditional. It really depends on how these storms evolve, how they track, and are they going to move into a stable atmosphere, or are they going to move into an atmosphere that's been able to re-intensify? During the afternoon. But the timing window for this is very narrow. We have a narrow window for the atmosphere to re-destabilize before the next batch of rain moves in. Make sure you have an exclamation point in front of the word notify. Exclamation point notify. One word. No spaces in there. There you go. There you guys go. You guys got it now. This will notify your phone. You'll get like a little alert, like as if you got a message almost. This isn't text alerts or anything like that. You'll just get a little ding that says we're live, and then you guys know we're live next time we go live. So, yep. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, which we hope you are, hit that little bell. It's a notification bell upper right hand of your screen. Hit that little bell. You may hear a little ding, and that'll alert you as well in the same fashion that we're live on YouTube. This will alert you on Facebook side of things, but if you are watching on YouTube, click the little bell on top. That'll have a little tab pop up on your phone and say, we are live. The next time we go live for severe weather. Again, our goal is to keep you safe from beginning to end here across Indiana. And we just have a severe thunderstorm warning barely hanging on here in Dearborn County, Lawrenceburg, Greendale, Harrison County. The storm is coming up to 275 here in Indiana. Where 275 briefly enters Indiana before going back into Ohio. The Cincinnati bypass here. This storm is on its way out, so we're just a few minutes away here on ending our stream here near term before we monitor conditions this afternoon and potentially coming back on if more warnings and severe weather is indeed realized here this afternoon. So one last time, if you guys want notifications from us today, exclamation mark notify, one word, no spaces. That'll notify you here on Facebook. If you guys are watching on YouTube, which I encourage you guys to watch on YouTube, better quality on there, as well as you can find other educational videos on there as well. So we encourage you guys to check that out, hit the like button, and hit that notification bell to let you know when other videos are posted, as well as when we are live. Very crucial information is said on here when we are live. We have no commercial breaks either, by the way, like other local stations do. During times of severe weather, we are live, doing live coverage 24/7, 365 days a year to keep you guys ahead of the storms during times of severe weather. And although we don't go live for winter storms, but we do occasional break-ins and updates for those as well. So do keep that in mind. Our goal is to keep you covered from beginning to end, and we are happy to do it and honored to serve our fellow Hoosiers in times of severe weather. So thank you for trusting us here at Indiana Weather Online and Indiana Storm Chasing Network. We are a few minutes away here from ending our stream here. Once this warning is fully out of Indiana, we will be in what's called all clear mode, which means clean and green for the time being. Rest easy, grab some lunch if you guys are on a late lunch break, and enjoy the break here before round 2 moves in. Round 2 is conditional. We're posting updates on our page, talking more in depth about round 2, what it means, what it could be, what it could not be, and the possibilities thereof. Ryan behind the scenes here is working on those for you as well. So go ahead and check that out if you want to. And actually, Ryan wants to say hi to you guys here before we pop off. So I am actually going to pop him in here and Ryan will pop in here real quick. You'll see him there real quick, and he's going to pop in before we hop off here. He may want to say hello to you guys. And there he is, Ryan. They should be able to hear you now.
Good afternoon, guys. I've been the one in the comments and also posting to the page updates and stuff like that. Gail's been doing a great job here. I'm doing the back end stuff today.
Ryan has been the man behind the curtain, so pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, but you can pay attention to him now because there he is. Ryan is hanging out with us here as we finish our round 1 here today of severe weather in Indiana. Ryan, if you want to go ahead and briefly talk to them about what round 2 could be, what it could be. I know you just made an infographic on it, but tell those viewers what it could be and what it could not be. It's really a conditional risk, as we call it.
Yep. So right now we're watching storms across the southern part of Illinois. Those are moving up in toward the south central part of Indiana. Between these two rounds, the round in Ohio right now and the round back in Illinois, there's a lot of surface instability, which is going to fuel these storms working up into the south part of Indiana right now. We still have a lot of wind shear because the cold front is still to the north. So we have a lot of shear out ahead of that as well. So combine the storm fuel with the instability and the wind shear, the additional chance for storms is going to be in existence there between mainly 3 p.m. We're going to say about 9 p.m. or so. And any of those storms could produce damaging wind as primary threat, large hail secondary threat, and a low chance for a brief tornado or two across mainly south of Indianapolis. Wouldn't be shocked if we have a storm, north of Indianapolis, not by much, but right around the I-70 corridor and point south is what we're kind of expecting as of right now. Models do indicate that storms are going to fire up right around that 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. Whether they do or not is going to be really dependent on how much of that fuel we can build back in. But right now we are building that fuel. It's just now a matter of how much we're going to have as those storms in Illinois on your screen now push our direction.
Yeah, there's not really a long window to build fuel, Ryan. There's not a lot of time for the atmosphere to destabilize as that rain is making its way already into Illinois right now. So that's going to be the biggest thing, I think, Ryan, is how much time are we going to have and how much instability are we going to be able to rebuild in that short amount of time of only really an hour or two.
Yep. Right now, just for reference, Caleb, we have right around 2,500 surface-based CAPE already across South Indiana. So we already destabilized. And that was as of the 1 p.m. update on mesoanalysis, which is real-time data we look at.
Yep.
We call it mesoanalysis. But already have enough instability there, already filling into the region. So we should be supportive, at least, of a low-end severe risk, if not a little bit higher.
Yep.
You know, we still have that slight enhanced risk and effect from the SPC for the same areas. They continued that at the 12:30 p.m. update. So additional rounds, if possible, if not likely at this point for South Indianapolis especially.
Yep, I'd agree with that. So instability, what
Have an
those
update.
numbers mean is, think of like 1,500 as a baseline, and we're at 2,500. The further you go in the summertime, the higher that number needs to be to support severe weather. But 2,500 is sufficient to support thunderstorms and a baseline for severe weather. But there's other ingredients that we need to have, that we need to see a little bit more of to support widespread severe weather. So such as lapse rates. Lapse rates is a measurement of how fast the air is rising up. How fast are we going to get thunderstorms to build? And we need that to increase a little bit. And that'll come with destabilization as well. So a lot of little ingredients, little knickknacks that are coming back together, and we need to see come together for round 2. So it's a conditional risk, but a risk I wouldn't say is improbable at this time. I think it's likely that we'll see another strong storm or two before the end of the day.
In fact, Caleb, we have a new MD coming out, discussion, watch likely for portions of South Illinois, South Indiana, and Western Northern Kentucky. I'll read that off once I have full information on that, but another MD coming out for that South Indiana area. So another watch is likely going to be issued here shortly from the Storm Prediction Center.
And that is ahead of this batch of rain and thunderstorms moving into southern Illinois and into southern Indiana later on this afternoon. So the severe weather risk is not over. However, if you're across northern Indiana, let's say Logansport, Fort Wayne, Kokomo, over towards Lafayette and points northward, your severe weather risk is extremely low today. It's mainly going to be Indianapolis and points southward. Think I-70. I-70 and I-74 and points southward. That's where the best environment is setting up. We don't really see a lot of instability making it much further north than Indianapolis. It's kind of going to be capped off. It's going to be limited. Just it doesn't have enough time to be pulled further north than where it is right now. So areas that are been hit by this first storm complex of storms could be areas that could be hit again by an additional round of storms and rain later tonight. Think 3 p.m. Central Time through about 9 p.m. Eastern Time is really the time frame for these storms. They could go a little bit later than that. They could start a little bit earlier than that, but that's kind of a rough idea of what we're looking at here. So maybe an hour break here before the next round of severe weather potentially moves into southern Indiana. So this severe thunderstorm has fully now moved out of Indiana and is now in Ohio. So the severe weather risk is all clear at this moment for Indiana at this point in time. So it is still hanging on, but the severe thunderstorm itself is out of the state at this point in time. And we are now awaiting round 2 and watching the data come in behind the scenes as to what our actual numbers are in terms of severe weather ingredients. Those numbers will tell us a lot behind the scenes as to what we expect, what hazards are going to arise, and the severity of these storms and where they're formed this afternoon. Ryan, do you have anything else to add here, buddy?
Nope, I'm just finishing up this update. It'll be up on the Facebook pages and also our Twitters and Threads and Instagrams in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So expect a written update for round 2.
Yeah, but then I'll have all the information you need to know, all the deets for the where, what, and when to expect for round 2. And that's going to be talking about basically what we just talked about here to you guys in person. How much time are we going to have for instability? We already have some destabilization occurring. We have that instability arising. Ryan mentioned there is 2,500 joules per kilogram of CAPE. That's just a fancy weather term for saying we have instability building. And so really you need that number 1,500 or higher for this time of year. And so 2,500 is enough to support a low-end severe weather threat at this point in time. So really, if you don't memorize that number, it's okay. Don't worry about it. The main gist is
we do have destabilization occurring, so we could have a new severe thunderstorm watch added to portions of central and southern Indiana over the next couple of hours ahead of our next round for this afternoon. So do be mindful of that. Do be prepared for that. Indianapolis points southward, south of I-70 and I-74. Think of it south of Danville and Newcastle. If you draw a line from Newcastle to Danville and points southward, this area needs to be on alert for round 2 later this afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time through about 9 to 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time is the time period of the window to watch here today.
That MD that came out basically goes from trying to compare this here, Vincennes, about from Vincennes up to about Terre Haute, over to Bloomington, and then right down toward Louisville. So the very far southwest corner there. I would say probably between just north of Vincennes over to Bloomington, over to Louisville. That's where your MD is for. So new watch incoming. You might be able to pop that in there, actually.
Yeah, I was actually going to look. I was going to look to see which one has the MD on it.
It won't be there. That's your warnings. Click on the Alexa Monitoring tab directly. Yeah, right there.
Here we go.
Yeah, right there. Perfect. Not loaded yet. I'll post on the page here in about 10 minutes, guys, if you want a visual reference.
Really, it would just look like a blue circle on here is all you would see. And that would just be an area highlighted by the Storm Prediction Center of areas we just mentioned, looking for round 2 here in a little bit, and additional severe thunderstorm watches may be issued there. But for the time being, we're going to hop off here as our round 1 has concluded. You'll probably see us a little bit later today as round 2 moves into southern Indiana. So be sure one last time, hit that exclamation point in reports. Type that in if you want a notification of when we're live. Notify. Sorry, Julie had me confused in there. Exclamation point and notify. What she has in there is for storm reports. For when we're live, exclamation point and notify. And you will get an alert saying that we are live again for severe weather. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the notification bell on the top right portion of your screen. That'll have a little ding or an alert saying, hey, we are live. And that'll tell you when we're live for severe weather again. And here's that MD here, that brown circle here, right in here. Kind of hard to see, but you can see that little bubble here. Probability of severe watch, 80%. So severe thunderstorm watch is likely. I'll go ahead and read it here for you to give you an idea of what the Storm Prediction Center, these are meteorologists with NOAA in Norman, Oklahoma, who do all the severe weather watches, issuance, and stuff like that. They issue the Storm Prediction Center outlooks as well across the United States, continental United States. Probability of watch, 80%. Damaging wind gusts, isolated hail through the afternoon. A new watch will likely be needed by 19Z, which is coming up here in about an hour. So new severe thunderstorm watch likely coming within the next hour or two for portions of southern Indiana. So with that being said, we're going to hop off here. Take care. We hope we don't see you again. We hope we don't have to go live again, but chances are you guys will be seeing us later today for some isolated severe thunderstorms possible across southern Indiana. So with that being said, take care. Have a great afternoon, and we'll probably see you here in a little bit. Be sure to tune in as we will cover you from beginning to end as soon as the first warning is issued in Indiana until the last warning has left Indiana. We will keep you covered beginning to end with no commercials. So with that being said, take care, and hopefully we don't see you, but there's a chance we might. So we will see you guys here in a little bit. Take care.